last week, so, or actually Saturday. I'd like to call to order the regular city council meeting of February 13th, 2017. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Belden,
Here.
Russell, present. Vixen,
Here.
Cuthbertson,
Here.
Jovenelli,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Ray.
Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so I've been notified that 4A is not going to happen this evening. So if you could pass that down so I have more room, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Next, we will move on to public comment scheduled 4B, which is presentation regarding the Paint Creek Trailways Southeast Rochester Property Concept Plan. Welcome.
Good evening. Let's see.
If you could introduce yourself, that would be
Yes.
wonderful.
My name is Ralph Nunez.
Thank you, Ralph.
I'm principal of Nunez Design, Inc., recently developed. And, yep, I've been before the board recently with one of our developers, and we are pleased to be here with Paint Creek Trail.
You guys are doing massive development there. That's
I
awesome.
was going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
that's a
Well, you
long
know,
presentation.
those people
Yeah.
running along
That's what I
there,
love
you know.
about Kristen. She's like so ambitious and
Surprise.
go big and then get negotiated down.
Thank you.
Go get her.
That's it.
So, as we go through there, so as far as my background, as far as a landscape architect, urban design, I've spent the last 2 years working just south of here in Rochester Hills on the Riverbend Park project that's going to be renamed. Some of the graphics that we're working on now for 2 years. Also, I was the design architect, landscape architect for Rochester College as far as Lake North Centra, working with them as far as getting plans for placemaking and getting them some additional funds as far as for that. We're here tonight to kind of give you an idea of what's happening on the Clinton River landing. As you can see, we have the trail that runs down, and everyone knows as far as the north section of it coming down into Rochester. But over there, that little red dot on the far left is actually a piece of property that Clinton, or the Paint Creek Commission has purchased or was given. Along the Clinton Trail, the yellow dots are a number of landings that are proposed or existing right now, and the red one is where we're looking at doing our proposal. The site that they control is about 0.6 of an acre. It runs on the Clinton Spur as far as, and it goes basically, the point is over to the left where it splits, and it goes over to Boomer Park on the right across the river there. A little bit of an aerial photograph of it, so you see the Clinton Trail running east-west, and then our spur, and then the red section is the site, Clinton River to the right of it, and then Boomer Park further to the right. When we were engaged by them, we went out and looked at the site, kind of inventory the existing conditions as far as the Clinton Trail. There's a rest area at the very apex of the intersection there of the two, and they had a list of goals of what they had wanted to do with this piece of property. One was to create markers to identify that they are in control of this piece and want to take stewardship of it. One was they wanted to have access down to the water as far as for crowd hydrology to meter and check the levels of the water. And then there was an observation deck that we ended up proposing to them. They wanted a rest area, and we've kind of looked at a location of what we thought was really a great spot to view. And then also access down to the river. So looking at, they currently have the marker, which was the old railroad markers on the left. We were looking at some similar smaller markers to identify the east and west boundaries to show that they're in control of that and maintaining it. This is the crowd hydrology signage as far as that would go into the river, and individuals can go down, monitor it, send it to the partner as far as at Michigan State, and they'll keep records of what's going on. And actually, we were able to secure not only this one, but when Kristen went up to Lansing to pick this one up. She also got one for the Riverbend Park project. So we'll have two on the river, and we can kind of check to see what's happening with that. Also down by the river, they wanted to place a bench for individuals that are either.
Not a van?
Yeah, in a van. That allow individuals that are kayaking to basically to come in and put in at that point and either sit, or the ability to have an access down. We had originally, they had thought about steps, but then steps aren't barrier-free. We ended up coming and finding a way to get a trail that would go down that will allow for that access, and then give someone the ability to rest there or watch their dogs play in the water. One of the things that we also are looking at doing is a trail identification and a little bit of the historic aspect of it. We believe that this is where the end of the canal was at. At that point, we found some metalwork that's on the boomer side of the river, and so they were trying to identify if that is actually part of it. And so we wanted to have a little bit of the history of the canal, and then also do an improvement of their trail surface, because it's rougher than the Clinton Trail at this point. And so one of the things that we had looked at, the green circle is basically where the bench would be located. The crowdsourcing is over in the blue into the river, and then the darker or brighter green shape is basically an observation deck that comes off of the trail, which would allow bench to be able to rest, and then have really some phenomenal views down toward the river, and it's up higher, looking at over into the boomer area, which is really some nicer vegetation to look at that point. This is a little bit of a picture of what the configuration of the overlook would be. We're proposing to have that constructed out of Trex, and a system that will allow for the visibility while you're sitting through there as far as railing purposes. And what we looked at originally was there's a lot of Phragmites in that area. The problem is that we have Phragmites. The good news is we have Phragmites. To the north, we have the industrial properties, and the Phragmites basically screens it. And so what we're looking at is, in order to try to mitigate that, the invasive species, is that it would take a joint effort of all parties, Rochester Hills, and the Paint Creek Trail Committee, to try to eradicate it, and it's overwhelming at that point, since we only have 0.6 of an acre. So one of the things that we're looking at doing was to basically come in with bare-rooted material, native species, get the trees, and allow that to basically grow up and kind of choke it out as far as shade-wise. And then it also gives them opportunities where we saw a presentation of the Girl Scouts, and maybe the possibility of Boy Scouts or whatever, as far as having kind of an Arbor Day and coming out and planting a lot of plant material out there. So this was just for informational purposes today. We really wanted to kind of show you what's going on. There's when we've been out investigating and researching and measuring and doing some stuff, we've seen a lot of the neighbors and residents of the communities using those trails, and we think that this would be another valuable asset for the community.
Great.
If you have any questions, myself or the Higher Trail Manager, who's popular, would be
I'm
more
gonna-
than happy to.
Great. I'm going to ask if there are any questions from the audience at this point, and if not, I'll go ahead and move to council. Council questions or comments? Member Joe Vanelli.
Thank you. Thanks for coming to the presentation this evening. I appreciate it. I have the Trailway Commission was my first commission when I was elected to council 9 years ago. So I miss you guys, and I'm sort of the alternate, but
Not sort of.
well, I am. But I mean, I don't have to go because you always go. So it's like, all right. So I kind of miss it. But no, this is fantastic. It's just neat to see the little pockets of development in all the. Dr. Becker always said we were blessed with an abundance of riches in terms of people that are giving and the little projects that go on. But each little one, just makes such a huge piece of our community. And this is awesome. And congrats on your fundraising and going out there and getting those grants. That's outstanding work. So I'm just super excited. This is gonna be great. As long as I don't have to go back and pick garlic mustard, I'm good.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, we're always open for that.
Yeah, I know. It took me like a week to get over the last one.
So this is really just really a fun, cool project, and it, whoops, am I not on?
Now I'm on. And so I really appreciate you coming out because Rochester has a commitment to make sure that everything is maintained once we pulled everything together. And part of the cool thing is just the extension of the bridge. You're extending that where that little piece of land kind of goes, dips down. So that's a great advantage, I think, for all the trail users. The other thing possibly I was thinking that maybe we could look at is when we're resurfacing our portion right out here in front of Albertson, that section of, it's Albertson probably towards the bridge. I'm not sure exactly the exact location, but when we do that is maybe we can then resurface that part of the trail so that we're doing it together. Because I know, Kristen, that's coming up in a year and a half or 2 years. 2019. So maybe that's something that we, could consider doing. And then the platform, I believe, is not really going to be trucks. It's going to be a composite. Is that correct?
We're not sure at this point.
Okay.
Right now, so either or.
Okay, because that will save a little bit of money too. But it's it's ADA, so people even in a wheelchair could go and take that beautiful view in of the river. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
and thanks,
It's been a
Kristen,
pleasure.
for all your work.
Nick, did you have something?
Madam Mayor, last week, Blaine and I met with Amanda from the Clinton River Watershed, and they've been independently looking at handicap accessibility for a kayak launch and trying to get grants for that. They just completed the first one, or got the funding for the first one through crowdfunding in Mount Clemens, and it's spectacular how you get out and there are ramps that go back and forth. And they were looking in the same area, so we told them to call Kristen, sit down, if we can all do this together, we could have the landing, might save them some money. It's the same project, basically, in the same
Be great.
area. They wanted, the Clinton River Trail folks wanted a platform to look over the river, so why not share all this together and make it work? So I know that
that's
Amanda's going to reach
fabulous.
out to Kristen. So.
Great collaboration. Good to hear. Thank you so much. Great presentation.
Thank you very
Keep
much.
us posted on everything, please. I know that the Mayor Pro Tem will.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good night.
you. All right, next, do we have any miscellaneous public comment this evening? Please come forward.
Mayor Dalton, council members, I'm Brian Dunphy, Rochester Hills, president of the Rochester Avon Historical Society, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to let everyone know that we have our annual Antique Appraisal Day coming up on Sunday, March 5th. It is, of course, open to everyone in the community. We will be having 11 appraisers this year for what is our 24th annual event, and, of course, is our Rochester's version of the Antiques Roadshow. Admission is free. Each verbal appraisal is $5, and it will be held at the Rochester Community House, as it customarily is. And we certainly look forward to have everyone join us for this event. We actually have a total of 11 appraisers this year. We have 2 new ones, so we'll have some new areas to be offering appraisals on, including sports and game cards, clothing, apparel and gear, stadium seats, 18th and 20th century antiques, home furnishings, glass, porcelain, silver, vintage clothing, African American art and collectibles, and a whole lot more. So again, we just wanted to let everybody know that that's going to be taking place. Again, that's Sunday, March 5th at the Community House, and we'd like to see everybody there. Yes, Mr. Ray.
What time?
It is from noon to 4 p.m.
Noon to 4.
Thank you so much.
Very
My
exciting.
pleasure.
Great. I
Thank
love
you
the
for your time
Antiques
and attention.
Roadshow, so I'll have to check it out. You never know what you're going to find in those.
Well, that's true. If you do watch the Antiques
I
Roadshow,
do.
you know there's a lot of disappointment, but there's some people who hit the jackpot. So we always hope.
And I wish I'd be one of those to hit the jackpot. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
Great. Any other miscellaneous? Please come forward.
Paul Marzak, 1058 Bloomview Circle. I understand in reading the minutes, and I listened last meeting, that there's going to be an increase in the sundial cost. Do we know now what the total cost of that sundial is going to be? So we don't know what the increase is.
Not till we rebid out a portion of it, so we have an idea, but I don't want to commit to a number until we have the exact number from the
And when we do, it will be at a
Absolutely.
city council meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Do we have a fixed price contract with who's ever doing this?
Mr. Banda?
No, so we bid a contract, we have not awarded a contract yet. Also, we're
So-
waiting to get, it's gotta be within budget, or we bring the, over to the city council for them to make a decision on, but we do not have a contract in place yet.
For any of
That
the
is
sundial.
correct.
Okay. Also, I brought the issue of the year-round farmers market to the attention of several people in our subdivision, and they are not enamored with this project and the additional costs that it would bring to the city. One of the residents suggested that they look at the Royal Oak and the Oakland County one that exists and note that they're having difficulty at the current time with the year-round farmers market. So this is something, again, spending more money of the for the taxpayers, and this is something I think that should be looked at.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward on the agenda. Next, we have approval of the minutes. Consideration of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 23rd, 2017. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Peterson. Do I have support on the motion?
Support.
Support by Joe Vanelli. Any adjustments?
I did have one
Yes.
with, that nothing major, just, I will get with, the clerk afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
I think we need to know. what
Oh,
the-
yeah,
Oh,
actually,
I'm
we do
sorry.
need to know.
Okay, well, let me,
part of the
find it,
motion.
because I had it marked on the
It's okay.
online version. Actually, like the minutes to reflect on page, that's actually page 5 of 6. At the bottom, right before it says where I left, I actually stated that I felt that the project should not move forward and that, they should continue with, fundraising first.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes.
that last sentence right above that says that?
Yeah, just, actually, it says, Mayor Pro Tem Russell,
No, Peterson's felt the project should not move
Yeah.
forward. Right directly above that.
mhm,
Yep. Rustling Courage fundraising.
yeah.
Okay.
That's satisfactory, or is there more?
Well, I guess it's satisfactory, but I stated that, so, however you want to change the records to state that.
No, I said it. I think she just wants to say that she was in favor of that and not moving forward. Is that correct?
Correct, both, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other changes? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Vixen?
Yes.
Cuthbertson?
Yes.
Jovenelli?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Next, we will move to the approval of the consent agenda. There are 5 items. Item F is no longer, we are not needed, exactly, thank you. And if there's any questions, I will forward that off to you. Consideration of a recommendation for the ERP software. Item B, consideration of a special event application from the American Cancer Society to hold Making Strides Against Breast Cancer event on October 7th, 2017. Item C, consideration of a special event application, the OPC Commission to hold Walk for Meals on Wheels 5K Fun and Run Walk on June 3rd, 2017. Item D, consideration of a special event application from O'Connor's Public House to hold the St. Patrick's Day Celebration 2017 on March 17th, 2017. And item E, consideration of a special event application from the Rochester Lions Club to hold the Rock and Rods Car Show on August 13th, 2017. Do I have a motion to approve all, or would anybody like something removed? Yes, Councilmember Jovenelli.
I'd make a motion to approve B through E, and I'll just pull A just for discussion purposes, since it's a fairly major project, and I wanted to, I was actually surprised to see it under consent, but
Okay.
we'll talk
I-
about it.
Support.
So the Mayor Pro Tem, so I have any discussion, any others? Yes, Councilmember Cuthbertson.
Yeah, what's the basis for the removal of item F?
Mr. City Manager,
Actually, going to refer it to the attorney.
thank you.
Yes, thank you. When it was originally put on the agenda, it was understood that this was that the contract was up in March of 2017, but looking at the signed agreement, it's actually not up until March of 2019. So it's not up for renewal or consideration or any other action. It's a 5-year agreement set to expire 2 years from now, not now.
Okay. If I
Yes,
may,
absolutely.
Madam Mayor, so then any renewal period would be thereafter?
There actually isn't any stated renewal period in that agreement.
Oh, okay, good.
In
So
the
it's-
RFP,
It's a straight bid in 2 years.
that's right. If it's going to be renewed in any fashion, it would have to come back to city council.
I would support an appropriate bid process at that time.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve B, C, D, and E. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Joe Canelli.
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
Item A, Mr. City Manager.
Actually going to have both the finance director and assistant come on up, as well as they basically
Are spending money.
led the review process for the ERP, and I'll let Anthony speak to it. I'd be happy to note that we are recommending within budget award of the proposal. Go ahead.
Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you, council. I guess I'll give a super brief review. So we had RFP went out through Mitten. We ended up receiving 3 proposals back, Munis, New World, and BSNA. There were 2 New World and BSNA that were within our originally set budget of $175,000. New World was like $175 and $300, so it was within the amount. So we went forward and did a demonstration with both of the companies here at City Hall, with myself and John. We then asked them, we had some predetermined criteria and questions that we wanted to ask, and then we'd also gather some information once we sent out the RFP from different communities, found out, how are things going, what can it do, what are you not happy with, what are you happy with, experiences, software capabilities, how was the integration and implementation of the ERP software, kind of just to get a feel of how things went with it. After both of the presentations were done, John and I sat down, put our scorecards together, talked about pluses and minuses, the operation here, what each of the softwares can bring to the table, to the city, to the operation, and us moving forward. And what you have in front of you now is the recommendation with moving forward with BSNA. It happened to be the least expensive of the 2. That was one of the factors. For us, it was really value. What are you getting for the dollar? And if you're going to spend some extra, what does that incremental extra get you? With that, we felt that BSNA met all of our needs at the moment. And then also the near future needs, seeing the kind of the direction that we're heading, some of the things our current software is lacking now to get us, as far as cash flows and budgeting and trying to get data out of it without having to export.
Being DOS.
Yeah, exactly. Out of DOS to get the information. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'd be happy to answer if you got questions on.
Councilmember Jovenel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And thanks. This is one of the few things that, being an accountant myself, it's there's nothing more frustrating for me being here for 9 years and having to deal. So I have sympathy for you, and I'm really glad that we're coming to an end here. But to try and get any kind of meaningful information out of the current system, which I think was probably invented before Bill Gates went to college, is just it's a trip to the dentist. No dentist, no pun intended for dentist. But I was curious on so the price difference is fairly. You're stepping, so Munis, New World, and BSNA. So I presume that you guys level set everything and kind of looked at what the different features were between the 2. Typically, you don't see such a huge spread between comparable software. So I'm curious, why is Munis $241,000 and BSNA $133,000? And then I guess once you tell me that, answer that question, is it fixed fee versus licensing is part of it? I don't know, so.
That is, so a few parts. First part with the differences. A lot of software, it's kind of who is it geared to? One of the big components with BSNA specifically is it's geared towards our size and kind of community. You wouldn't necessarily run the state of Michigan on it or all of General Motors. You know, it's
Got
not
it. Okay, I
made
got
for
it.
that sort of. Munis, yeah, you could. And same thing with New World. It's got that kind of expandability that you can go pretty much as large as you want to with it.
Well, I remember we were going through our interviews for your position, some of the people that we had talked to are using those specific softwares, and the New World was not recommended. Just because it's hard to use. And I understand that scale, but so that answers part of my question. The other thing is like, all right, so it's 133 to get it going in implementation. Is there licensing issues on the backside, subscription fees that are going to be going on there that are going to be higher than the others, that if you look at that on balance over the course of a 2 or 3 year investment, what does that look like? Did you guys crunch those numbers?
Absolutely, we did. It's actually Exhibit B, so when we got the actual contract portion from them, so scroll way down to the end of that council agenda item. Yeah, exactly. 19 pages of the contract. They have the maintenance and support fees. So how we looked at it was, what is it going to cost us? You know, the first year is great. It's kind of like, you know, buying a razor. It's free, but the blade's going to cost you $1 million.
That's what I was getting at. Right?
Yeah, it's the exact same sort of situation here. With BSNA, you know, we were looking at 10 years. We told all of them, what does it look like in 10 years? What's maintenance fees and everything from years 2 through 10? One of the big differences, and that has something to do with that upfront initial cost, is like with New World, for instance, there's nothing you have to pay for. You get the current whatever it is.
Yeah,
so when they
updates are
roll
on
a
that.
new version out, it's not, hey, you want this new version for another $10,000. It's, well, no, you were paying and you're there.
It's a good point. So is this cloud or is this on-site?
This is on-site. So we looked at the cloud options. Right now, with going on a client-server environment, so having an actual physical server here is going to cost us, it's about $12,000 for the server. The expense on the cloud side, and it varies greatly. It's anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a year. So I said, all right, well, for $12,000, I can get about five to 7 years out of the server, and versus paying 50 to 150.
So
for
can this be
cloud.
hosted in either way? Is it this,
It
so it's
can.
the exact same product?
Yes.
So if you put it in the cloud, so it's more or less
Yeah.
where the server's located at.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
So do we have fiber coming in?
No.
Okay, well that's
We
part of
do
the problem.
just from the county, but it's not for
Okay, good. Well, that's part of the problem. So we go to the cloud, then you have
that. Yes,
2 strings and orange juice cans. And, yeah.
pretty much.
All right. Okay, so
that's
that
not
was
too far off.
Typically,
but
when you are looking to go cloud versus internal, it's because of that hardware. Maintaining it and uptime and backup and all that other stuff. So, I just would encourage you guys to make sure that you've thought that process completely through, and if in the long run it ends up being cheaper to go to the cloud, it's a little bit different, I think, with city because we have so much privacy issues we have to contend with. So
Yes.
So all right, and then just lastly, as you go through the process, I don't think we need to go ahead and have 500 years of history. I would probably just get one, leave the current setup the way it is, and kind of go forward because that's where the largest cost in implementation is to try and resurrect old data and force the round peg into a square hole. So maybe just do like 1 year's worth of GL or something, and then go forward.
Okay.
But that would be my recommendation. I wouldn't, because that's where the consultants are going to get you, is trying to convert that data. You've been through these before too, you know the drill. So yeah, I would just caution you and go that route. But double check on the cloud and just make sure that you guys are good with that. And I'm happy. I'm prepared to go ahead and make a motion to support it unless there's
And
more.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I just have a quick question. I'm sure there's a great answer for it. On Exhibit A, under 3, 4, and 5, it's the invoice, the 3 sets of invoices that will be starting to pay when they, do their work. But those invoices add up to $145,775, and then here it's $133,450. So is that what am I missing?
You're not missing anything on that one. So here's the delta on that. So with BSNA, all of the companies have some optional stuff that isn't really related to the core financial, but they have some options.
Okay.
With BSNA, they had two that they showed us: their business licensing and their pet licensing programs. Right now, we're one step above DOS. It's in an Access database right now. So it was like, okay, so how much more is that? Well, okay, so that's on exhibit. It's in the bottom.
So it's just an added
third and
feature?
fourth for the business license and the animal license. So that's the difference between the two quotes, which in the original memo is that like the 6,700,
Oh.
which would be in
Oh,
this portion right here.
Yep.
So I guess, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's great. I just maybe a little asterisk to say,
Yeah, I'm sorry if I
okay,
didn't highlight that
was,
quite as.
You know, just
out
because
there.
I think, okay, this is funny math. I'm not a mathematician, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's still within.
I
Well,
know
within
it's
the
in
175
budget,
too, yeah.
But I just wanted to be apples to apples when we're comparing the three, and
Sure.
so when the dollar amount came to the bottom line, it was different than what we're paying out.
Gotcha. Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions from council?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just, not a question, just a comment. Thank you for actually choosing that one, because I do know it's probably one of the more widely used ones in a lot of areas, not even just city, but appraisers and everyone else uses the BSNA, so it's good.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
So-
got lots of good feedback from.
Yeah.
Thank you both
Okay,
for
awesome.
your,
Yep.
thank you both for your hard work.
Absolutely.
Move approval?
Motion by Giovanelli to approve, support by Councilmember Peterson. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Cuthbertson.
Yes.
Giovanelli.
Heck, yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Thank
Yep.
you. Next, old business tabled items. We have nothing this evening. Next, we go to public hearings. We have a public hearing for the consideration of the PY 2017 CDBG floodplain management. I know, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have anybody for the public hearing this evening? Going once? Going twice? Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. I will go ahead and close the public hearing. Council? Anything?
Make a motion to
Yeah.
approve.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Peterson,
Support.
support by Giovanelli. Discussion? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Cuthbertson.
Yes.
Giovanelli.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
Next, we have legislative deliberation items. First is consideration of an ordinance amendment regarding Chapter 34, Article 5, Special Events Introduction and First Reading. Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, thank you. Before you is a draft ordinance amendment to sections, specifically to the special events section, which is Article 5. The council may recall there was a more robust ordinance amendment before you about a month or so ago, a couple months, which talked about signature events. As you know, that there was a decision to remove the references to, or the special ordinances for signature events. So before you is what was left after we removed those, which is very minimal. There's a ordinance amendment change to section 34-152, which was a comment request to put in to add guide star for nonprofit agencies in their submittals. And there's a city council approval section in the next section, section 34-153, which says that city council may consider deny the request based on the factors, including the guide star report or other information that the council deems relevant for nonprofit status. Those are the only changes in this ordinance amendment. If city council wishes to move forward with it, The appropriate would be to move it for first reading and introduction, and which at the next meeting would be for second reading and adoption.
So moved.
Motion by Giovanelli. Do I have support?
Support.
Support by Councilmember Cuthbertson. Do I have a discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Councilmember Ray and then Councilmember Peterson.
Thank you. More information is always better, but I'm wondering if we should include Guide Star report and/or 990 filing or something to that effect. I mean, what happens if Guide Star ceases to exist?
Or they don't, we could, Mr. City Attorney, could we add that?
Absolutely. Easy,
Okay.
easy add.
Is that fine with the makers of the motion? Okay. Councilmember Peterson.
Well, excuse me, everyone, but I don't approve of the Guide Star being in there because it is more of a self-reporting. I don't think that's something that we should have. If it's the actual tax documents that Councilmember Ray mentioned, I would rather see that in there, if anything, because that actually has more validity to it. But I would like to know if anyone here would like to entertain changing these numbers.
That's on a separate.
Is that separate?
Yep, that's separate.
Okay, all
That's
right.
item,
Okay.
We'll go ahead.
Just want to make sure.
So, actually, what we're going to do is have both of these, both the 990s and then the Guide Star in this motion. Correct, Mr. City?
Yes, that's how it'll appear
All right.
when it comes back to you.
All right.
So as a either or, Madam Mayor?
Actually, we will have both, or either or, yes,
I think we'll just do and.
okay.
So
Thank
you want both?
If available.
Correct. Yes.
A requirement for the tax form and Guide Star, comma, if available, I think is the intent of what I'm hearing from the discussion.
Very good.
Guide Star only if available.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Dalton.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Vixen.
Yes.
Cuthbertson.
Yes.
Giovanelli.
Yes.
Peterson.
No.
Ray.
Yes.
Next is item B, consideration of a resolution regarding a special event policy to change the fee schedule to start 1/1/2018. Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, thank you. Before you is a proposed resolution, and I'll apologize because apparently is a bit confusing. Generally, when you see language that's redlined, that's new information. Previously, at your December 12, 2016 meeting, most of the changes were made that you see in blue, if it shows up in blue on yours. There really are only two changes, or two changes to this that haven't been adopted, are the actual setting of the date that it would be effective. There was two different dates that were discussed: a January 1, 2018 effective date, or a July 1, 2017 effective date. So that's one item that needs to be communicated and passed. And the other one, I believe, is the first year event is $100, and the subsequent year for the same event is $75. And so the change to that would be the second year would only be $75 instead of $100. Otherwise, the rest of the changes were approved on 12/12/16.
All right, so thank you for that explanation. Council, do I have a motion with a date for this and with the change from the 100 to the 75?
Make a
Councilmember
motion,
Cuthbertson.
Madam Mayor, to include the $100 first-year event policy with subsequent year at 75, and move adoption for 1/1/18.
1/1/18. Do I have support of that
Support.
motion? Support by Member Ray. Do I have discussion on that motion?
Madam Mayor, quick question. Is that going to be every subsequent year? So no matter, it's never going to change, it's going to be 75?
City Attorney.
It will be, it's structured to be the same for the same event for every year unless City Council at some time in the future decides otherwise.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Dalton.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Vixen.
No.
Cuthbertson.
Yes.
Jovenelli,
Yes.
Peterson,
No.
Ray,
Yes.
Next, I will move to consideration of a zoning ordinance amendment regarding Article 24 off-street parking to make additions and changes to the table of off-street parking requirements, second reading and adoption.
Move for second reading.
Councilmember Jovenelli moves to second reading. Do I have support?
Support.
Support by the Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have any discussion? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Belvin,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Jefferson,
Yes.
Jovenelli.
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Thank you. Next is consideration of a recommendation from the Parking Advisory Committee. I think this is informational, so I think some council members do have some questions. And
Sure.
I think Mr. Banda or the chief or Councilmember Jovenelli or myself can answer them since we both sit on the PAC. So the Mayor Pro Tem, I think you had some questions?
Yeah, thank you for putting the report together and all the hard work that goes into this. I know that there's a lot of probably discussion. The only thing that I really had, I really like the parking meter permit study. I thought that was really clear. This was really great information. I just wish there was what was permanent and what is open on, and I'm sure it's in a paragraph somewhere, but if it was on like the bottom, like the east parking lot has X amount of spots are permitted. So it's just really easy information to grab instead of trying to figure it out. The other thing that is, that I have gotten some complaints and I'm in town a lot, and the lower level is always filled, and it's filled with employees. So I would love to see that the permitted spots be designated from the top down. So if they could, it could be, different stripes, so they know that it's whatever, how many spots are permitted. So it's not confusing to the average customer. If they want to go up to the top, they can park too, but that lower level is consistently on the west side. Is that right? Yes. The west side, that's the one that's really troublesome. Especially for some of those clients right there. So we're having the same problem that we're trying to avoid, where the employees are taking up the prime spots. So I would love for the parking committee to just discuss what that, what we can do about that.
We did, so
Oh, you
Councilmember
did?
Jovenelli.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were
Yes.
we were whacking away at that horse for a while.
Okay.
So it's really frustrating, and Chief is on it. We're looking at it's amazing. One of the things that I've learned, well, in my 9 years of public service, but more so in this committee than anything else, is the human desire to game the system, as it were, between this and the crazy electric car meter guy. It's just bizarre. I feel like I'm in bizarro land where people, and it's like, and unfortunately, you have to end up being the only adult in the room where you have to start doing this. But one of the things I did bring up, to your point on this specifically, is I used to work in Birmingham in a prior life, and I parked at the Peabody structure, and that's how they do it there. So, and we talked about that as well. Different color. You can only park on the third story there, or higher, or down in the basement. So I agree completely. Yeah, we talked about that as well. So.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Councilmember Cuthbertson.
I have a question. If I recall correctly, last year, I should say, when we made the change, I think, to go from 2 hours to 1, and to put all the meters, to the same level, I think in most lots. I thought at the time that we had expressed an interest as a council to reduce the SAD by 50%. And so I see a different recommendation in here from the committee that says reduce it by 25% and take the DEA's $50,000 contribution out. So I just hope somebody can help me with the thinking.
Yeah, sure. So the thought process there was, all right, so we wanted to address that. The capital reserve isn't quite high enough in the parking fund yet. So we wanted to get at least one more year of that in there. So the recollection is that the council's direction is every year we take a look at the SAD. So next year we'll look at it, and chances are it'll be. But with respect to all of the infrastructure things that we're talking about going on in the city, we were trying to figure out a way to put that, either way, it's an investment in the community, right? So whether the 50 grand goes towards parking or goes towards paying for, infrastructure development it would go directly towards, oh, by the way, I said on the budget committee, subcommittee for DDA also, so that was the direction we're headed towards it, but putting that money directly towards capital. So either way, it's going to be capital, so whether it's right pocket or left pocket, it's still going to a capital investment in the city. It's just a recommendation. Council is absolutely within their right to decide how it's going to go,
It's
but.
going to come back to us.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you
Yeah,
were
no,
looking
no.
for action.
So actually,
No,
This
this
is
is
just
just.
information. The committee met, we hashed through everything, talked about what we thought was the best, because we're saving for infrastructure improvements in the parking system, but not saving any money for, a future deck or anything like that. So we got some numbers on things that need to be improved on. So this basically was all of that information that we talked about at the meeting, and then it's coming back to council on March 21st to then come up with our final recommendation. But we
For the
wanted to
budget.
give you time, exactly. We wanted to give all of you time to
Thank
go
you.
through the data, talk about what ask questions on the back end, get the information.
And one point that we did talk about too is with respect to financing, if there is to be a next deck, if you will. What a lot of communities do is they use this to start collecting the money and then basically just write a check and buy the next one when it goes. And that is a policy discussion that's got to happen here. That was not contemplated in this
At all.
This is just
Yes.
building enough. Chief walked us through the ceiling of the decks and all this other stuff that's got to happen. So.
Exactly.
If I,
Yeah.
directly to Councilman Cuthbert, I went back and read the minutes, and you're absolutely right. We talked about 50%. That when a motion was made, that did not refer that. We talked about it, and they said the motion was, we'll just look at it year by year, but we definitely had that detailed correspondence. That's what or discussion that we wanted to do, but the actual recommendation that was passed did not have the 50% in there.
So
So
will
I
come back.
found the minutes that actually had that, so we talked about it, but didn't put it in there.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, this comes up often at business development in DDA and at the PSD, is having parking over on the south side of town by Tularoo, by, that area over there, especially when we have all this, development going in and homes going in. So are you talking about what maybe the next stage is so that we can have something come to, or is that a next stage or?
Yeah, so we did talk about it, but it really is going to be a policy discussion that has to happen here. There's not going to be, from a current parking needs, if you're looking for an additional study that says what happens if that, I'm sure that we would undertake that, but right now let's get these two guys going and stable and then look at giving Kathy something to look out of her front window.
Exactly. We decided that we still are new at this stage of the parking. The new system is still fairly new. And the Parking Advisory Committee agreed that we needed some more data to make some more informed decisions to give to council so we would have the data here to make, those choices. Yes, Councilmember Cuthbertson.
Councilmember Russell raises, in essence, a point that is, squarely a redevelopment-ready matter. That southwest quadrant of the Main Street downtown area is in very significant need of substantial reinvestment. I mean, there are buildings in that area that are beyond functionally obsolete, beyond economically fully depreciated, but there isn't going to be a real investment of capital in that area until such time as parking that can be provided to address that. The public lots in that area are relatively small, and they're fairly disjointed. They're not. They're probably not the highest and best use of the land where they're at. But before we start talking about a deck on the Pine Street lot, I think we've got probably a ways to go in terms of absorption and adoption of the existing excess capacity. My sense is that knowing what that study said and understanding from a planning standpoint, we haven't hit the cap there or significant redevelopment in that quadrant but there's a little bit of a chicken and an egg issue, and so I think that discussion may have to happen a little quicker than people might otherwise be comfortable with. But that's down the road ways.
And
I
if
think.
you'd like, the Parking Advisory Committee doesn't have a set meeting, but maybe in a couple months we can put one together, and that would be some of the topic, and get some information for council so they have it. Yes.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
we talked about, this is way back machine, but remember when we started this whole thing with the heat maps and all that good stuff? We actually had McKenna do a study that we looked at the highest and best use of every parcel in the entire city, and then we did a pro forma that showed what would the needs be if all those obsolete properties and underutilized were built out. So we have that data, and we can go back and we're going to reinterpret that. And I agree that it's going to take something to kick that to go. We already have the information, so we said that we'd bring that back to the committee to go over that and talk about it. And again, we can't go by November, December. Right now, we're 38%. So it feels like at night sometimes it's not right. Again, location's everything. You have to walk a little bit, but we're okay, and we certainly aren't on the cusp of asking for another deck at this point. So, but we will keep working on it.
And I just want to make that clear that the thing is, to be a community that has vision, you have to look out several steps ahead of the time. And maybe this is something as discussed at Planning Commission, I don't know, but when we're putting these projects together, especially in the south end of town, I mean, it just has to be part of what we're looking out for the future, because but I don't want to freak anybody out. I mean, we've got plenty of parking, everyone. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good discussion. Next, we have consideration of a special project and site plan approval for residents at Royal Park, a condominium development.
Video's good. You guys all don't get to see videos. Great.
I know, I miss video.
So now you're going to get full on video. She'll go this and this new office team is here.
Great. Welcome, Vidya.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The request before you tonight is for the construction of a 5-story residential building with 14 condominium units on the southeast side of the Royal Park Hotel. The proposal that is before you tonight is coming under the special projects criteria of the zoning ordinance. This is a flexible tool in our zoning ordinance that facilitates the redevelopment of a property within the city that does not strictly comply under the provisions of the zoning ordinance. So it allows the Planning Commission and finally the City Council to grant that flexibility that is not innate in the ordinance itself. Following that process, the applicant appeared before the Planning Commission for a preliminary review in November of 2016. Subsequently, they appeared at the January 4th, 2017 meeting of the Planning Commission and received a recommendation for site plan and special projects approval subject to some conditions. At this time, they have revised all their plans to address the conditions the Planning Commission had placed on the proposal, and it's back before you. The applicant for this project also happens to be the owner of the Royal Park Hotel, and the proposed development is located on the southeast corner of the Royal Park site. The development is placed in an area with existing parking and an outdoor structure, which is the bocce courts, which are going to be removed to accommodate the new building. The entire site is actually 2 separate parcels, which will be eventually combined into one tax parcel ID. The property is zoned B1, which is a local business district. The B1 district by itself does not permit residential development. However, this site is located within the special projects area, and under the city's master plan, it is also designated as a PICA, which is a potential intensity change area. The vision for this property is mixed-use development in the future. And mixed use would include a mix of commercial development and also residential development that includes multiple family dwellings, townhouses, and apartment-style dwellings. And this proposal complies with what our vision for the community is in the future for that parcel. With regard to vehicle access and traffic, the Royal Park Hotel has got frontage on 2 streets, both University and Elizabeth. None of the access points into the site are going to be altered to facilitate this development. The amount of traffic that is going to be generated by the 14 condominium units is not going to cause any significant increase in traffic on any of the abutting streets, so no improvement is being required. With regard to pedestrian access, the site has existing sidewalks along both East University and Elizabeth Street. This was a topic that was significantly discussed during the site plan process at the Planning Commission. The new residential building is going to be connected to the existing hotel through a covered walkway. The Planning Commission asked the applicant to provide an improved connection to the trail that is located next to it, and the applicant's revised plan before you tonight has actually developed that as an amenity. It's got bluestone pavement that connects it to the trail. In addition to it, there is going to be a new sidewalk connection that goes through the parking lot, and it's better structure than what currently exists, so that the connection from this site all the way to Elizabeth Street is much improved. There are required crosswalk connections too, so the pedestrian movement in and off the site will be significantly improved. Based on the ordinance requirements for parking, we have to take the whole site into account, the restaurant, the banquet halls, and the residential development. The total required parking for the entire site would be 350 parking spaces. On site, the applicant has a total of 329 spaces, which includes a mix of surface parking, platform parking, and below-grade parking. Whatever shortfall of spaces is there, the applicant is going to accommodate it on the existing lot that they own to the south and west of the subject site. That open lot has got significant number of spaces that the applicant has allowed for open use by any visitors to that site or to the Mill Restaurant. Out of that parking lot, the spaces that are going to be set aside to address the shortfall over here will have to be maintained in perpetuity as parking, even if the remaining portions of that site are developed. It's our recommendation that a shared parking agreement be executed between these two properties, so that in the future, if that property is redeveloped, you don't lose out on the spaces that are actually being assigned to this proposed development. The required number of handicap accessible spaces have also been provided for the new development, and also in the parking lot to the south and west side. They have provided one there too. As to architecture, the packet is before the Planning Commission, and the applicant has done an excellent job of not just providing elevations, but also an overhead aerial drone sort of simulated view of the property to give you an idea of how this building is going to look in relation to the existing Royal Park Hotel. The building has 4 stories with 3 units in each, a 5th story with 2 units, and a rooftop terrace. And the rooftop terrace is set up like an outdoor dining area, but it will be limited for the residents of the condominium units only. It's not open to the people at the hotel. At the Planning Commission meeting, there was significant discussion about the height of this building as to the mass of the building not being overwhelming since it's right next to the trail. The Planning Commission did not set an exact number, but directed the applicant to look into reducing the height of the building by whatever measure they could without affecting the architecture of the building. In condos of this level and this quality, ceiling heights do matter. They are not designed as a standard apartment. The applicant did take the Planning Commission's concerns into consideration. They have made modifications to the building facade elevations and dropped the height through ceilings itself by about 1 feet and 10 inches. In addition to that, they have re-engineered the site such that this new residential building is going to be located on a grade that is about 2 feet below the Royal Park Hotel. So at this point of time, the height to the midpoint of the peak for this residential building is 60 feet. The height to the top of the peak is 72 feet, and it's still below the maximum height of the chimney on the Royal Park Hotel, which is at 75 feet. So while the two buildings will appear reasonably in scale with each other, this building is not going to look overwhelming in mass when compared to the hotel that's right next to it. The building is to be constructed of brick and cast stone to match the building, to match the hotel. All of the facades have windows which are framed with brick detailing. There are a significant number of windows, the details, the entry portico, the connection to it. All of it speaks of very high-class architecture, and we believe this building truly reflects what Rochester likes to see. It has got its historic charm. It is intended and designed to be understated in appearance because the hotel is the prime building on that site. This is secondary to it. As regard to landscaping and tree removal, your site plan packet does include a detailed landscape plan. The applicant is proposing a significant amount of planting both on the site when they're reworking the parking lot and along the trail. And they do have a central landscape area where they're going to have an outdoor tent, and it is screened by landscaping all around it. So overall, it is a very attractively designed site, and it is going to be maintained as part of the Royal Park Hotel's grounds. So the assurance is there that the maintenance will be included. The applicant has noted that none of the trees on the site qualify as landmark trees. There are a total of 61 trees within the project area. A tree survey for the entire site is not reasonable because they're disturbing only a portion of it. In that portion, they have a total of 61 areas of which 40 are to be preserved and 21 removed, and the replacement landscaping that they are providing more than equals what they are removing at this time. As to lighting, the fixtures that they're proposing in the parking lot and on the building facade are in keeping with what would be expected of this building and the site. Signage is going to be significantly understated just to identify the building number and so on, and will be reviewed administratively before installation. We had asked for a brief information on how stormwater detention for the site will be handled, and the applicant had indicated that they are working with the city's engineer for appropriate drainage for the proposed development, since it is right next to the trail. Stormwater detention will be combined with the existing system for the hotel, and it will be designed to accommodate any additional flow that will be generated by the building. It's key to note that this building is replacing other impervious surface that was there, so the amount of runoff or stormwater discharge difference that is going to be there should be able to be accommodated on the site. And finally, the most important aspect of the project, which is a special project consideration. For the Planning Commission and the City Council to approve a project as a special project, it needs to contribute something more to public benefit than just being a prettier site than normal. And the applicant has demonstrated that by stating the creation of new jobs, which would be 4 permanent hotel employees and 200 construction jobs in a 1-year period. They are creating an upscale condominium units that offers more housing options within the city. It will increase the taxes and the creation of additional revenue for local businesses through spending from new residents. As portion of their public contribution, they are going to take from the park's master plan vision, Elizabeth Park, and all of the concrete work, the stamped concrete work that is proposed in our parks master plan is going to be done by the applicant as their contribution for the city's common benefit. And finally, the creation of the improved pedestrian sidewalk connection from the site to Elizabeth Street and the Paint Creek Trail accomplishes what they are intending. At this time, based upon the revised plans that have been submitted and the applicant's presentation, we believe they have met the criteria for a special project, and it is our recommendation that the City Council grant site plan and special project approval to the residences at Royal Park to be located at 600 East University. I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for video right now? Okay, so applicant?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Victor Siroki, and I am here with Frank Rewalt as well. We are the architectural firm, Siroki Architecture, for this proposed project. We also were the architectural firm that worked with Frank and the family when we developed the Royal Park Hotel. So we're obviously very familiar with the site and the project. Vidya, I got to say that is probably one of the most impressive presentations. Thank you. I thought I came prepared to have to do this presentation, and she did it for us. So that's great. So
we'll send you the bill.
I'll gladly pay it.
It's not much.
Frank will.
You'll pass it.
So I don't think I have to do a deep dive. I think she really covered all the technical facts. And as she said, we were here in January presenting to the Planning Commission, I think, and 2 of the members of the council were there that night. And I think overall the project was positively received. So hopefully you'll be pleased with it as well. This is a site plan. This is obviously the original Royal Park Hotel. This area in the pink is the new proposed building. The building is 5 levels. As Vidya said, we were able to reduce the height, so it is in proportion to the hotel and actually below the height of the hotel through lowering the grade and taking a little bit out of each floor as well. There are 14 units in total. There are 3 units on floors 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the 5th floor has 2 units. Units range in size from about 1,600 to about 2,200, and the 2 big units at the top are about 2,800 square feet. There is a flat rooftop terrace above that faces south overlooking the Paint Creek, and it's right in this area. that is really, in a sense, an outdoor deck or terrace for the residents themselves to be able to go up there, enjoy the view, have a cup of coffee, glass of wine, etc. Take friends up there also. We've redeveloped this whole area of parking. This is the back porte cochere. That is the ballroom entry for the hotels. This is the front entry, obviously off of University. And as you know, there is a landscaped area that is has arborvitae surrounding a tent area. So we're having, in effect, a similar plan. This is the proposed tent area that would be a seasonal tent. Operates just the way it does currently today, and we'll place 8-foot or 9-foot tall arborvitae all the way around it to screen it nicely. The main entry for the residential building is here. There is a covered walkway here that is a canvas awning that will be lit at night, and also will have infrared heaters, so to keep it moderately for the residents to go back and forth. The residents will park under the hotel. We've developed 28 parking spaces, 2 per unit, under the hotel, and they'll be able to, there is a elevator at this end of the hotel that they'll be able to come up and walk right across and go into their units. And then obviously once they walk into the lobby of the building, there's elevator access. The building is obviously all ADA compliant and meets all of the building codes. I have to say that we worked closely with staff and Nick and their team, and very pleased that they were very cooperative working through the whole project. As we, let's see, is this going to, have I advanced myself? The next slide? Okay, there we go. This is just a little bit of an, is it this way? There we go. Okay, so just to mention a couple of other things, there is an enhanced walkway system that Vidya did speak about from the Paint Creek Trail up into our site, and then from our site we have a nice sidewalk system that takes us all the way up to the sidewalk at Elizabeth, and then of course you will be able to cross Elizabeth to the Elizabeth Park, and as Frank has agreed to do is propose all of the paving that was planned for Elizabeth Park to be in a stamped concrete. In terms of the architecture, you can see obviously it's intended that the architecture is similar to the hotel. The hotel, as you know, is designed in what we call an arts and crafts Tudor aesthetic. The use of brick and stone, and the black clad windows that'll be operable, and the copper at the top with the dormers, all of the same materials, very high quality. And you know, it's intended that the residential building is really a private building, so it's intended to be a little bit quieter in terms of its detail. Whereas the Royal Park Hotel obviously is the public building and is a little bit more opulent and a little more elegant in terms of some of the detailing. But the level of detail, these are luxury condominium units. We do a lot of this kind of work. They will be very high-end units in the building. So we're very pleased to present that, and this is the sort of the main entry. There'll be a nice cantilevered canopy that gives a nice protection for guests if they get dropped off to be able to go into their units. These are just some of the side views. The rear view has balconies. All of the units will have a balcony that overlooks the back of the Paint Creek. And you'll see at the top right here, there's a very nice terrace that residents could come out onto as well. And just to look at this perspective view, I don't see it. It's not in here. Is it in here? Separate sheet? It's not in this one, is it? I don't think that's us. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm opening up right now. Probably not the right thing.
Hopefully he's behaving himself.
I'll stop there.
Yeah.
Cut the live feed.
That's right. Fake news.
Anyways, in your packages, there was a very nice aerial photograph.
Yeah, we
Actually,
saw it.
Frank took a drone. He went out there, took a shot. We rendered in our building, drawn to scale, and hopefully you had a chance to review that. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Obviously, Frank is here to answer any questions as well.
Councilmember Hupperton.
Thank you. Another fine presentation. I've seen this several times at Planning Commission, and I did pass along to the Planning Commission, I guess last week, that in fact you were able to reduce the height and the general setting of the structure, and everyone was appreciative of that and expressed their thanks for doing that consistent with the commitment you made to us there. I had only one question, and maybe it's actually shown in the site plan drawings, but in the 11 by 17 renderings, it doesn't show the curb cuts to what would be the walkways across to where the opposite, here we go, thank you. SP, I guess it's 02, enlarged architectural plan, doesn't show corresponding curb cuts on the south side of Elizabeth Street to match up with the curb cuts for a walkway in Elizabeth Park. I presume you intend to do those. I just
At the time when we, if I may through Chair, when we rendered the Elizabeth Park, we hadn't got that far. We didn't know that we wanted what happened on the west side to drive the east side, so we can absolutely, figure out where to put those in and make those ADA compliant, absolutely. Yep.
Just little housekeeping there.
Yep.
I actually had a question for administration. Informally, I had some conversations regarding these residential developments as being outside the DDA district and inuring to the general fund as a tax matter. And I wonder how, if we're going to combine the parcels, how that tax matter would be resolved. And also looking at the DDA map, I'm not sure that this particular parcel is outside the boundary. So I need someone to reconcile that cognitive dissonance, as it were.
So it was very important to us to know that exactly. So we pulled out all the legal descriptions, and the way the maps are drawn certainly don't make it very difficult to discern what's what. All but a tip of the, not even the building, the walkway, I guess would be towards the Royal Park, is outside the district. We amended that boundary years ago. So this building and the subsequent tax ID number for the condos will not be in the downtown development district. So the agreement with the parking, that's tying the two buildings together parking-wise, but not legally. So we confirmed that 100% with the attorneys. We all sat on and got the legals out of the county with Mike Fury, et cetera. And we know for a fact that the building and the tax capture will not be in the DDA district.
And if,
I'd like to follow up because I'm looking at the DDA boundary map on the city's website, and it looks like this former parcel, former railway parcel is in fact, it's shaded green in here.
Right.
So this must be incorrect then?
That is correct. So that's what started the whole conversation. I believe when we amended the boundaries, the map on the city's website is not correct. So we went back, found the documents, ran legals on it to make sure that is not correct.
because
So
we talked
will
about
correct
that when
though,
we
absolutely.
when we talked about that one parcel that was next door to it. I remember when we removed that, so, okay.
So that drives me back to the underlying question is how do you combine these tax parcels when one's in the district, one's not, and account for that in a fair way for, for the joint owner?
Good attorney question. The intent will be to make sure that we.
I don't need an answer tonight, but obviously you need an answer.
And then they have condo documents on top of that that have to be made.
Yeah.
So we will work our
Look
way
into
through
it.
that.
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Absolutely.
If the combination of the parcels creates an issue with regard to the taxation district in which they are located, then the parcels can be maintained as separate tax parcel IDs with just shared agreements for parking and any other common resources that overlay them. They could possibly be maintained as separately if that becomes an issue.
I understand that, but I think probably from a general site plan matter, if I think if I were the owner developer, I would probably want these to be
Yes.
together as much as possible, so I'm not having to maintain two site plans and sets of approvals and documents and so forth. But I don't know if that's possible with this tax question, and if we can solve that, fantastic, because there are probably efficiencies into having this on one site plan.
We could look into it.
So with that, I actually had one other thing which related to the condo docs. Do you need any kind of approval or anything in the motion from city council this tonight rendering a special project approval subject to the city attorney administration's final approval of those documents?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Giovanelli.
Thank you. Just so, with respect to the DDA, and so it's safe to say that the lion's share of this property is already outside of the district, yes?
The hotel's in the district.
No, so this particular piece of property
Yes, it's out.
is not in,
It's-
so just a little piece of it is. So administratively, we could do what we did over here and just basically redraw the boundaries and then put it all, so it's not, unless there's a reason to have it in.
Mike Fury, the way he had, the city assessor from the county addressed it, he said, it's the majority of the parcel, so he's not gonna worry about the sliver to even proportionally have that in the DDA. It's the
Right, well, I
predominant-
don't want to make Frank's life a nightmare having to deal with all that stuff, so if we can, whatever we have to do to fix that, that's easy, but it seems to me we can just redraw the boundaries, right? If that's what we did last time.
Yeah, but
To shrink a tiny triangle out?
Yeah.
As long as we don't open up
As long as,
can of
big
worms.
picture of the.
Well, we understand that typically, shrinking has not triggered that opt-out review, so all
Who
all
knows?
options on the table.
yeah,
right?
who knows with Lansing these days, I mean, if you could just think about it and all of a sudden it's,
Okay, other Councilmember Bixon?
Yes, I have a question. This looks like a very nice project. I saw that it was short on parking spots, and then you're gonna have some agreement to park someplace else. And you said the employees are gonna park there. Are they gonna walk from that spot in the winter? And then do we start to get into the issue of, well, they don't wanna do that, so then they're gonna start parking other places, and you can't control that. So, I mean, is that, how does that work?
Good evening, Frank Rewald. We currently park all the employees across the river now, so it's really not a change. We have a lot of excess spaces, so whatever we need additional, we can just put over there, but that's policy right now. It works very well. We've been doing that for 10 years.
Do they walk over?
yes, yep.
Walk across the bridge and into the hotel. Yep.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I'm excited about this project. I think it's unique. I really appreciate you lowering it, because I think I love this rendering. I think that's the one that you were looking for to show. I think it's really cool. The only thing on the rendering versus, and I'm sure I'm still a little confused on how the people are gonna park. So they're gonna park underneath the hotel, or is underneath the deck already? Because it just seems like there's gonna be it seems like there's gonna be a lot of, maybe congestion for the residents, but maybe I'm not quite understanding how that's working.
Sure. So if you know the hotel, and I'm gonna assume you know a little bit about the hotel, you've been there. We do have underground parking under the hotel, and there is a garage entry.
On the other side.
That's right. So residents will be going in that garage entry.
Okay,
They will go and park under the hotel. Their parking spaces are gonna be the 28 spaces closest to this project.
okay.
Okay, so they're at the sort of the south end, let's say, of the hotel.
Okay, so there's gonna be another door that's gonna be then go up to this unit, or this building?
Well, then we have an elevator. There's, the main bank of elevators is off of the building lobby, but then we have elevators near the pre-function area near the ballroom. And those elevators, that elevator goes from the garage all the way up through the hotel. So the residents who park in the garage under the hotel
Mhm.
will take that elevator up to the first floor, and they'll be able to walk right across. They'll go outside the hotel, through that covered walkway, and right into their building.
Okay,
they
so
have-
the covered walkway and the entrance that you normally go into the ballrooms, is that
Yes.
two different entrances?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
They will not be going through the main port, that's a porte cochere.
So,
that's
I
a
mean,
covered
it looks
walkway.
like it on the drawing, but when you look at it here, it looks like this is shared, whatever that little, but I get it. I mean, you can't see it, but
Yeah, I apologize.
you know what I'm
It's,
saying?
I can point it out if you don't mind.
It's right here.
Right here.
Oh,
That's where down
Yeah, see,
south is.
that's the, yep, so she could,
Yep.
so that's the new proposed.
Oh, I see it now. Yes, I think I see what, so this is the entrance here, and then this is where the, okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Any other questions?
No, the curb cut was the only thing, and that's just easy, that's just it.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yep.
Okay. Councilmember Peterson, you had some questions.
A couple. One, it looks as though the building is 10 feet from the property line, and the property line actually extends into the current sidewalks that walk along the water walk. Is that correct?
So there is, you're correct about the 10-foot setback for the building. That's at the closest point, just at one point. The sidewalk is, or the Paint Creek Trail is going to be slightly modified. We're going to soften that curve a little bit. A portion, the majority of that is on our site. The work that we're doing is on our site, but there would be a small adjustment to that. And where we make that adjustment is where we're going to make also the new bluestone path that goes from the Paint Creek Trail up into our site.
Ma'am, if I may point out, that's technically not the Paint Creek Trail. That's on, it's always been a private walk that
Right.
Rewells allow people to use. The real trail's on the other side between Sunrise and the river, so they own that trail, so.
You own the walkway.
That's
well,
correct, yeah.
And I walk it twice a day. That was my concern, because with that being so close, it's going to change the whole entire sidewalk, I'll say safetiness, only because it's so shadowed back there now that it's going to continue being that way. I don't know, I just feel it's too close to the creek and everything there. So being with the building coming all the way up that close to the property line there, where the sidewalks are, because this shows like it's really large, but it's really not going down. So I didn't know.
Well, we do step the building around into that sort of triangular area as it gets near, let's say, the trail and the bridge. There is some green space all around there. There would be new landscaping placed in there. Obviously, we needed to preserve the entry of the hotel where the porte cochere is. We have to work through those sort of maneuvers for the cars and the valet, because that system has to still work. So obviously, we're moving our building to the west, but it pretty much works within that parking lot. We are redeveloping that parking lot. We wanted to maintain as much parking as we could. And we feel the building fits comfortably in there. So we thought that the building, scale-wise and size-wise, is good. It functions nicely with the hotel. And, obviously, part of the beauty is the Paint Creek and the views along that Paint Creek. So we think we've done a nice job really designing the building to fit that space.
Okay, Madam Mayor, another question. Based on some other developments here in town that have the underground parking, have you taken into consideration for guest parking? Because I know other ones have, and where would they be parking?
So there are some parking spaces really all around us, and there are 4 spaces directly across from the main entry, and those 4 spaces will be reserved for guests. And quite frankly, obviously if there's events at the hotel, that's all managed through valet. And but the 4 spaces right across from the main entry would be for hotel guests. Generally speaking, or for the residential guests, generally speaking, that back area is not busy except for evening functions or on weekends. So during the days, usually it's fairly open and easy to park there.
Any other questions? Councilmember Nelson?
No, I'll make a comment. And Frank, I think it's an awesome project. I think it looks great. I mean, it is very fitting for the hotel, and I like the style and design of that. The only thing I do think is it's way too close to the creek.
Thank you. Councilmember Cuthbertson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion as follows. Based on the revised site plan and supportive documentation submitted by the applicant, that council grant site plan and special project approval pending final engineering review and city administration and legal counsel's review of the condominium documents and other needful legal agreements as discussed this evening.
I'm sorry, who's the support? Support by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any other discussion? I just want to say thank you. I was at planning. I approved, voted yes. I think it's a great project, and I really appreciate the fact that you took the considerations of the Planning Commission, and especially that walkway with the concern of safety. I know some people made light of it, not on the Planning Commission, but the Planning Commission, I think, did their job and did a good job addressing those concerns, so thank you. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Belden?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Cuthbertson?
Yes.
Jovenelli?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes, with a comment. I will approve this, but I do not like the setback of where the building is, and I don't like having to make you do something in lieu of for a special project.
Ray?
Yes.
I do have a question. Would when we vote, should comments be at the comment part, or can they be during the vote?
Her comments will be included between the motion and the vote.
Okay.
You have to include comments
Okay.
Right.
during the vote.
Okay, all right
Well,
then.
I suppose I could.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will do reports and regular business. A report from the SLC regarding water meter testing results. It is my understanding that the test was done and it came back that the meter is working correctly. And so, Madam Clerk, if I'm correct, we have a motion on the floor, because I'm going to go ahead and read from the minutes. Cuthbertson moved, Jovenelli seconded to deny the water billing appeal from the owner at 845 Logger Circle. Cuthbertson then moved and Jovenelli seconded to table the motion to deny the water billing appeal from the owner at 845 Logger Circle pending the testing of the water meter, and now we are voting on that motion. Yes, yes, Councilmember Cuthbertson.
Could I make an adjustment or amendment to my motion, which also incorporates the 3 bullet points as reason from the administration's memorandum as further delineating the basis for the denial within the motion.
And the second, Jovenelli, do you support the amendment? Thank you so much. Any other discussion on this motion?
One question,
Yes.
Madam Mayor. Who had to pay for the water testing of that meter?
The city.
The city? All right.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Belden?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dixon?
No.
Cuthbertson?
Yes.
Jovenelli?
Yes.
Peterson?
No.
Ray?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we will move to receive a report from the Planning Commission liaison. Councilmember Cuthbertson.
Thank you very much. Nothing as necessarily exciting as what we just considered, but primarily we looked at zoning ordinance amendments, specifically 3 zoning districts related to master plan implementation, the Downtown Edge 1 district, mixed use 2 district, and mixed use 1 district. And the Planning Commission had, a variety of modifications and changes to it, none of which I think are worth getting into the minutia this evening, but we continue to work on the master plan zoning text amendments, and I do expect in probably March, if not March, April, that you will begin to see text amendments for actual zoning amendments before council. In addition, we spent some more time looking at the definitions for front-loaded, side-loaded, and rear garages, and I think we're close to a potential recommendation to City Council that relates to this style of this style of garage, and but also only limits its application to infill and/or R1, 2, and 3 districts, which would geographically focus where it applies and is appropriate relative to the established pattern of development. So we did some technical zoning wonk stuff, to put it in a sentence.
Thank you. Next, yes, absolutely.
Is there any discussion on what's happening with the development on Ferndale and Rochester Road? I get tons of questions on that. Anything going
Defer
on?
to administration. We approved it going on a year and a half ago.
Yeah, they need an extension. So I just talked to the owner. Actually, he's coming in tomorrow to finalize the agreements. But they had the grading on that site's quite the challenge. So Mr. Pamplona owns the property to the north. So they worked with him to try to figure a way to remove the wall, balance the land, save some money, save some mess out there. Vito's agreed. In principle, he told me with the concept. So once they get that set in place in the next couple of weeks, they've already submitted for engineering and building. So they expect that probably won't break ground until June now, just because of the dirt. I mean, it's a lot of dirt that's going to come off there, and they will make a mess of this town. He's talked to the potential buyers. They're fine with the delay, and they should be moving forward quickly. So we've got the building. They're going to put a new sign up. They actually took it down because they were getting so many calls. I think he has 26 people on the waiting list for 6 units, he said. So he doesn't really need any more action at this
Now,
point.
does that go to the planning commission, or does that come
No,
here?
it's
just
it's now we're just waiting
It's
for
just
the
an
construction.
extension then?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a site plan extension, right.
Receive a report, got that. New business for referral and miscellaneous, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First items are the check register reports. We have 4, January 19th, January 26th, February 2nd, and February 9th. I do have a few miscellaneous items. First one, again, want to thank everybody who participated in this past Saturday's budget workshop meetings. I felt it was very productive. So again, thank you to council as well as staff. I want to highlight that our upcoming budget meeting is on March 21st, which has been referenced several times, which will be here at 7 p.m. In this actual room. Next, I want to give a brief update on the Public Works Needs Assessment. Our consultants will actually be meeting with staff tomorrow to go over their draft report, and then we'll be providing a final report for City Council shortly after, and I'll be presenting that along with some of our Public Works staff at the March 21st meeting. I want to highlight that we have 2 open Public Works positions, the director and a full-time Public Works service worker. The deadline for both of those positions is this February 24th at the end of the day. If anybody goes to our website and /jobs, you'll be able to fill out the application materials there. There is a handout that I'm trying to, I guess, get some possible dates. So hopefully if that's trickling its way down to me, that would be great. And I don't want to steal the clerk's thunder regarding the deputy clerk, so I'll stop there.
Madam Clerk.
We have filled the vacant deputy city clerk's position. Jessica Warzinski is a graduate of OU with a bachelor's in public administration. She's currently in a master's for public administration program and is working as chair as the ICMA chapter at OU, which is a new thing that she's excited to get off the ground. We will get her to a meeting to meet all of you, but she's right now taking classes on Wednesday, so don't want to overwhelm her, but I'm looking forward to molding another young mind.
Thank you so much. Mr. Deputy City Manager.
I would just indicate that despite my efforts to mess this up, we did get Tree City designation plans. Going to put it in the manager's report for the community to see. It's one final okay by the state, but they inform you that please come to this breakfast for your announcement for 2016. We did everything we did. We had to plant our trees. We worked with City Beautiful. Council made a resolution. We met all the per capita expenditures because we planted so many trees last year in our maintenance program. So congratulations to us. I think that's a nice honor. We've got it every year since we've applied, starting 4 years ago, I believe. So good job, everybody, to get us to that level. Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Councilmember Bixson.
Yes, I try to mold young minds every day, and it's a difficult task sometimes. But good luck to City Clerk. Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Ray.
Nothing this evening.
Councilmember Giovanelli.
I'm saving it.
Well, they don't bother to show up, so they can't,
Oh, he's got the tie.
Councilmember Giovanelli.
I'm good, thank you.
Kindergarten teacher. Councilmember Cuthbertson. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
You could, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Madam
please.
All right, hey, so at council tables here are some stickers for the bicentennial seal that has a year of our settlement, 1817, year of the city's incorporation as a home rule city, 1967, and 2017 this year for bicentennial. I presume you can get your sticker at City Hall at a no-cost option for you, but if you pay additional shipping and handling, we might send you a sticker.
But wait, there's more.
This is the first run, so I do have a small stack of those. We'll be getting the additional along with the lapel pins and other things shortly.
Great start, very nice, thank you.
Councilmember Peterson.
All set, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, it was been a busy couple of weeks. So the state of the county and Councilmember Peterson was there as well, and the county is doing very, very well. Very exciting evening. Is there a Sister City meeting tomorrow night?
Thursday, yes. No, it's Thursday.
I mean Thursday night. Okay, Thursday night.
Tomorrow's already Thursday.
All right. So in the state of the city date, are you going to be announcing
Yes,
the
I'm going to
dates?
announce that
Okay.
at the next city council meeting in
Okay.
April.
And then the correction of the map, so like the DDA that's incorrect, there's a couple little tiny things that are incorrect on there. So can we just, is that easy to correct on the website, or how does that work?
Sure.
Okay. And then just for alert everyone, new sidewalks are super slippery. So when you walk, and if you walk in the morning, like the old sidewalks are fine, because they have like some, but the new sidewalks are super slippery. The other thing on Howlett Park, I don't know what's happening, but where it's going towards the south, and there's like ice forming. It's melted now, but it's weird. It's never happened like that. Like sheets of ice coming off from the grass. It's almost like there's not enough drainage or something. But just check maybe in the future. And then the new construction, or not new construction, the building on High Street and Romeo. There's been a lot of complaints about the parking of. Is there any way they can park like across the street at the church, or?
So if I may, I'm familiar with them because I got a lot of those same complaints. So we met with the contractor of the property and told him, I think there's 3 parking spaces on the street. And I explained it to the person that complained across the street. If they park in those 3 spots appropriately, that's okay. But they're having 4 and 5, and we try to make a deal. They were worried about walking across the street, but we told them it's actually temporary because they were redoing under the building. They couldn't use their own site to park some of the things. So I think we're over the hump on that now, but the police met with them. They were totally cooperative, and we got with the residents on the street and said, if you can just give them a little bit of patience, but we'll make sure we can always get through there. We were worried about getting an ambulance or the plow trucks through when it snowed. We have to get back there because there's a
it
little
was tough.
It was
It
tough.
was
So
not
I
good.
think we've got it under control now. There was a lot of complaints there for about a week, so.
Okay. So I guess in construction season, I mean, it's only February, but things are starting to heat up, and just to kind of nip those things in the bud before we get, so that's it. Thank you.
Did you have a question, Councilmember Peterson?
Do we have any minutes from any of the Sister City meetings?
We've only had one meeting, and I think we could forward you, really nobody took minutes. Yeah, a synopsis, so.
A synopsis, yeah.
I have 2 items. One was thank the fire department for the situation at St. Andrews this weekend. They did a fantastic job. Next, I have a request to move the 1311 Main Street Landmark property discussion to the March 13th meeting, because we will be absent 2 council members, and I think it would be appropriate to have a full council to do that. Madam Clerk, do you need a motion to do something, or is that just so ordered? Okay, thank you. Any miscellaneous public comment this evening? Meeting adjourned.
So I have a conflict on Sister City, so it's-